Hello, welcome to Build Series. I'm your host, HuffPost Lee Blickley, and Lacey Chabert caught our eye on Party of Five, gave us the ultimate 2000s catchphrase in Mean Girls, and has been bringing Christmas cheer on Hallmark every holiday season. This month, she's back with new installments of Hallmark's Crossword Mysteries, in which she plays crossword puzzle editor Tess Harper, who gets wrapped up in some criminal activity. Take a look.
It's been a long time.
2 months.
Yeah. You know, I was going to call you and
I was gonna call.
How are you?
Good. Yeah, really good. Oh, are congratulations in order?
Observant as always, and wrong. No, I've been running around town running errands for my sister's wedding.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, good for her. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of my sister, Tess Harper, this is my sister, Angela.
You're Tess?
Yes. Hi, nice to meet you.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. Logan has told me so much about you, but he didn't mention how pretty you were.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
she is.
Don't mind her. She doesn't get out much.
Let's welcome Lacey Chabert. We're so happy to have you.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome back. I know you've been here a few times. Does it feel like home at Build Series?
It does. It does. I always enjoy being here. You're always so nice, and it's nice to talk to everybody. And there's a giant poster of myself right there.
Never gets awkward, right?
Always awkward. Always.
So Crossword Mysteries is back. When you did the first one, did you know that it would become sort of a little franchise for Hallmark?
Well, we did the first movie hoping that we'd, have the opportunity to do more, but you never know how it's going to all work out. And I'm so thankful that we've had the chance to come back, and now we've done 2 more, and we hope to do more next year.
I know. So there's Abra Cadaver
Yes.
and Proposed Murder.
Proposing murder.
Yes, the best kind of titles for this series, which it gives you like a different kind of character to work with, much more maybe serious. I don't know, a little deeper, darker for Hallmark. I find with this kind of crime procedural.
No, that's exactly right. Because the stories lend themselves to being a little more serious and suspenseful. It's a different side than I get to show of myself typically for Hallmark. And, Brennan and I have done 7 movies together now. And then, it's such a unique experience. I'm so blessed to know him and for him to be my scene partner because he's awesome. But typically we play Brian and Ginny in these movies called All of My Heart, where we have baby goats and we run. Are you a fan? Thanks.
The goats?
Thanks. The baby goat movies, as people call them. So the first time we did Crossword, we kind of had to remind ourselves, okay, wait, these characters don't know each other. They're not familiar with each other. They don't exactly get off on the right foot. So it was a shift for us. But the first Crossword was cool because it was obviously introducing the characters and introducing the world, and much of the focus was on the mystery. But now that we're into the second and third movie, we've had the chance to see the characters get to know each other, and that's been really fun because it's not just about the mystery, which is exciting and suspenseful and great. It's now about how they relate to each other.
Yeah, because the show really follows sort of their relationship or their budding relationship through the series. Is that kind of exciting for you to play something that's different every movie has a different storyline, but you get to revisit these characters and kind of catch up with where they're at each moment?
Totally. You know what I love about it is if it's the first time you're tuning in and it's the third movie or second movie, it doesn't matter because each movie is a standalone movie. The thing that changes and progresses really is the relationships. So you can watch them, consecutively, or you could pop in and watch whichever one is playing. And I love that each one is its own, interesting story. And we hope that the audience has fun solving the mystery along with the characters who are solving it.
Yeah, I know this. Well, Hallmark has a Movies and Mysteries channel.
Yes.
So the fans clearly are into these mystery series. Now, are you as into them yourself? Is it fun to kind of play in this world, in this environment?
Totally. I love it. I mean, I grew up loving Murder, She Wrote and Columbo and all these shows that my parents would watch, and I love them. And this has an essence of some of those shows, and obviously it's a bit different. But the thing I love about my character is she's incredibly smart. She's the crossword editor for The Sentinel, but inspired by Will Shortz, the New York Times crossword editor. And so I'm playing a character like him, and he's an executive producer on the project. And she's incredibly smart, but in a different way. So she offers a different perspective to Logan, who's also a wonderful detective. But I like how she kind of shows up at the precinct unannounced, inserts herself into the cases, and finds a way to be useful. And I think he kind of reluctantly lets her be involved, but he can't deny the fact that she actually offers a very valuable perspective.
Yeah, it's a cool dynamic. And you do picture, you're like, oh, if I was, I'm a reporter myself, could I just get involved in one of these, law and order sort of crimes? Did you have to do research to, get into the vibe of being a crossword puzzle editor? Because you mentioned that he's a producer on the show, which is cool.
He is really consults with the puzzles and helps us a lot with that part, and I just leave that to him because he's very brilliant, and I cannot compete with that. Some of the puzzles, I mean, are even tricky for me, and even reading the script. The first time I read the script, I kind of have to go back and wait a second and make sure I'm caught up, and it's actually fun when I'm not exactly sure how it's going to end, even though I understand the story. It's been really, really, really fun. And you know what, Abracadabra, which is airing October 20th, is one that I'm particularly proud of. I love all of the movies, but this one I had a lot of fun with because it's about magic. Tess is taking magic classes at a place called the Magic Manor. They're there celebrating her birthday. Logan gives her a really sweet gift. And during one of the tricks, something goes terribly wrong and someone is actually murdered. And so, yet again, I'm solving the case.
You never know. Let's talk about you and Hallmark have had now a little bit of history. You've been a part of the network for a while.
19 movies now.
Yeah, it's amazing though, and how much the network has grown and their audience has grown. Did you know when you first got involved with Hallmark that it would be sort of the big deal that it's become, especially around the Christmas season?
I mean, no, honestly. The first movie I did with them was called Elevator Girl. It was a script I was sent. I thought it was adorable and fun and a cute story, and I did it. And, my family enjoyed watching it. It was a great experience. And then I just continued to get calls from them, and I've actually gotten to be a part of watching them grow as a network. And I'm so proud to be a part of it because I think that their programming, whether it's the mysteries or the Christmas movies, no matter what, it always ends on an uplifting note. It always finds the uplifting thing in the story. And for me, I'm proud of the fact that it just puts a little bit of goodness back in the world. Yeah. I mean, now more than ever, I feel like we need a little light and levity. And as a company, they're wonderful to work for. Bill and Michelle and Randy and all of the executives there have become like friends, and they make it they have created an environment that makes me proud to be, collaborative with them.
Do you think that's what kind of brings audiences in as well? Is that, you can tune into a movie and get enough out of it, but then in the end, you're going to feel kind of happy and uplifted in this, in this crazy world that you mentioned we live in.
Yes. I mean, I can just speak to the personal experiences and encounters I've had with people who say, hey, you know what? I was going through a hard time and these movies really helped me through that. Or it was just like a nice escape to turn on my TV for 2 hours on a Saturday or Sunday night and know that it would be joyful. Yeah. I'm proud of that.
Yeah, because you've had some experience, of course, you were on Party of Five, and TV has changed so much. The landscape is, streaming and networks and premium channels. What have you noticed as you've been in the business now? What has been the most surprising thing about the landscape and how it's changed?
Oh my gosh, it's all changed so much. I don't know where to start. I mean, I was a kid when I started. I was 7. I lived here in this city, in New York. I did Les Miserables on Broadway for almost 3 years. One of the most incredible experiences I've ever had the opportunity to have, and that taught me such a good work ethic. Being a part of a cast and knowing that everyone is important and essential to make the production successful. That was a really big lesson. But this was long before social media. And so everything has changed, and I've kind of just, learned to just kind of go with the flow. And I actually like social media. I think at first I was a little afraid of it, and it took me a minute to get like a Twitter account and Instagram, and I feel like I'm always a tiny bit behind. But now I really actually enjoy it, and I enjoy being active on it because it allows me to engage with the people I make the movies for. Yeah. It's not just a job. Yes, it's my career, and everybody's got to pay their mortgage, but it's I make the movies to hopefully entertain people and maybe be thought-provoking or just be uplifting. And I get to hear that feedback in a way that I had never had before through social media. So
it must be, it's definitely an interesting vibe now because, back then there'd be like paparazzi shots or ways where people were taking your photo or leaking news out. But now you have that authority to kind of release a photo when you want or tweet something when you want to say something. Has that kind of changed the celebrity aspect of your lifestyle a bit?
I think so. I think so. I think it's nice to be able to be a little more in control about that. Like, I'm a very private person, and my private life is, it's obviously the most precious thing in my life. So I'm very protective over my family, and but I do like being able to share a bit and decide. I mean, I think as a parent now, I think that parents should obviously be in control of when and where their child's picture is shown and or shared or not, or that's everyone's personal decision. And I think that that's been made a lot easier with social media. Sure.
Yeah. I know you're a mom now. How old's your daughter now?
She just turned 3.
It's so exciting.
Have you ever met a 3-year-old boss baby? That's my daughter.
Running your life.
Oh, she runs my life. I'm like, so what are we doing today, Julia? It was my birthday just recently. And I'm like,
Oh, happy birthday.
thank you very much. And my husband's like, what do you want to do for your birthday? And she's like, we want to go to Disneyland.
I've decided it for us. Mom's really.
And then I'm like, we're not doing that. We just did that for your birthday, which I love Disney, but I was like, Mom's too tired to go today. She's like, we're going to go paint things. So we went to one of those paint ceramic places, where you pick it up a few days later. So that's how I spent my birthday.
Yeah, because it really does. My daughter's 1, and
Oh,
it
you
does.
have a 1-year-old?
Yeah, it's so
Congrats.
exciting.
Oh
The
my
crazy
gosh.
stage where she's becoming a toddler, but still
Just
I consider
wait.
her a baby.
Just wait.
But your life does change, and you need to find that balance between work and being home. Does Hallmark kind of give you that nice, comfortable, not too long of shoots? You know exactly what is expected of you.
Yes, that's also why this is ideal for my life at this point, and I'm very thankful for it because she's able to travel with me. And once she starts school, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there, things will shift and change, I'm sure, but we figure it out. But so far, I mean, you talk about balance. I think I'm yet to find it, but I'm trying really hard. And it's being a mom and still pursuing my career has been, I think the only way to say it is I'm just learning on the job. I've learned to ask for help. I have a very supportive husband, very supportive family, and I've learned to ask for help, and you just kind of figure it out as you go and do your best. And I'm so happy that she gets to see her mom, still pursuing her dream and still, being creative. And I being with her is my number one priority. So we just sort of, figure it out as we go.
Yeah. Does she know that you're quote unquote famous? Is she aware that you're on TV or?
We don't use those words, but she definitely, if the Hallmark movie is on, I'll let her watch a few minutes of it, and she'll be like, "Yay, mommy, go, mommy! Can we watch Barbie now?" Literally. And she saw one interview I did where I was telling a story about how I gave her a timeout, and it's just really hard. They're so cute. You love them so much. It's hard to discipline them, but it's so vital and important. So I was like, okay, if you don't listen, you're getting timeout. And then I realized she didn't know what timeout was, so I had to explain it. So I'm like, we're going to sit here and we are not going to talk. And so at the end of it, I'm like, that was timeout. And, next time you need to listen to mom because I'm trying to, protect you and take care of you. And she goes, I liked it. I liked timeout.
Oh. And you're like, well.
And that's when you're scared.
Yeah. So now she's always going to try to get in trouble. So
Yeah, so she watched me. We watched an interview that I had done, and I didn't it didn't occur to me that I was I talked about her in the interview, and she heard it. And she goes, "That's me. You're talking about me." And I was like, "Yeah, we were talking about timeout." And I'm like, "Do you really like timeout?" And she goes, "No."
We'll have to show her this one. I'll be like,
Yeah.
"Hi, Julia." You could just play, just be like, you can watch all my Christmas movies in timeout, and I'll just play them on a loop
Exactly.
until you don't like timeout.
Exactly. But a lot of people say, if she wanted to do this, would you allow it or would you nurture it? And the truth is, I would nurture whatever was her passion. It's what my parents did for me. So I just want her to be happy.
Whatever she wants to be, right?
Yeah.
Now, do you plan? I know I have to, of course, mention Mean Girls because we all love Mean Girls. It's 15 years since that
Oh my
movie, which
goodness.
is insane. Will you ever let Julia watch Mean Girls?
I mean, eventually. I'm not exactly sure what age is appropriate for that, but yes. She's seen the scene where we're dancing in the Christmas pageant. It was on TV and we were flipping channels and she's just, "That's Mama."
And you're
like,
quickly.
Yes. Yes. And she laughed, but sure. I mean, I hope to be able to share all of my work with her one day.
It's so fun. And you're in New York. I know. Have you seen Mean Girls the musical?
I did.
Was it fun for you? Was it weird?
No, it was really surreal. I saw it last time I was here, and I was so proud of them. Like they did their own thing and made the show its own entity, but like honored the best parts of the movie and the most beloved parts of the movie. I think Tina's a genius. She's a genius, and the cast was incredible. I was so happy to see it. But surreal to play a character and then see it on Broadway.
Yeah, in a different iteration of it or way of bringing it to life. Did you ever know that when you did Mean Girls that it would kind of have this lasting sort of, now it's a meme or there's gifs of you or so fetch is such a thing?
You want to know something?
Another
This is
social
kind
media.
of embarrassing, but I was searching the gifts the other day for something, and it was one of them was of me that popped up, and I was like, I hadn't seen that. It was so surreal. I'm like, oh, that's really funny. No, I mean, I don't think you ever know with any project how it's going to be received. You hope that it's going to resonate with people, and that I mean, Tina, like I said, is a genius. Mark Waters is an incredible director. The cast was so funny and talented. There's nothing like going to work and like not being nervous about the fact that you're going to laugh all day and you can't laugh and ruin all the takes. Like that's a good feeling, and it's unique. So the fact that here we are 15 years later and it's as loved as it is, I'm so happy to be a part of it.
I should go home and watch it. I miss Mean Girls. We have
Maybe
two.
not with your 1-year-old.
Yes, not my one. We have some questions from the audience.
Cool.
One.
Hey.
So even after premiering 15 years ago, Mean Girls has become a movie that so many can rewatch over and over again without getting tired of it. So what would you say is one of your favorite movies that you love to rewatch?
Good question.
Thank you.
Excellent question. Probably The Goonies. Growing up, because I have older siblings, 5 and 7 years older, and so whatever they were watching, that's what I was watching. And The Goonies was one of our favorites growing up, and Gremlins, and Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. I don't know why, but we watched that one on a loop, right? There was like 2 or 3 weeks where I think we watched it 100 times. And E.T., one of my favorite movies. Love it. But right now, my favorite movie, especially because we're getting into the holiday time, like Love Actually, Christmas Vacation, Christmas with the Cranks, and Elf. Those are my holiday movies. Not that you asked for holiday, but there you go.
Thank you.
You're
You're in the
welcome.
holiday spirit.
Yes.
You're getting there.
Yeah.
I heard that you guys are coming to Jersey for like your first Christmas con for Hallmark.
We are.
That
yeah.
sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. I've never done one before, and it'll just be nice to meet everybody.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. You'll have to dress up maybe as Gretchen Wieners in your Christmas costume.
Yes.
We have time for one more.
Hi, I have a question from our site. Hi, Lacey. I love your looks as Tess. Do you keep any costumes?
Oh, good question. I mean, of course I don't keep my wardrobe. Of course not. No. Okay, so the truth is, I have this jacket because I love this jacket so much. I was like, can I please have this jacket? I'll buy it. So sometimes they allow us to buy things or keep things. A lot of times I wear a lot of my own clothes too. So I may have worn this skirt in one of them, I think. Yes, sometimes I get to keep stuff, sometimes I don't. But because this is an ongoing thing that we hope to do again, a lot of it is like kind of like Tessa's closet, and we just keep everything there. But a lot of the movies, I wear a lot of my own clothes too. It's just, everyone knows like your own jeans are sometimes the most comfortable. And like, I like to also, like I wore my own wedding dress in one of the Christmas movies. And it's cool because every time I watch the movie, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that was my dress.
Hallmark has Easter eggs too, guys. Like we're gonna have to be on the lookout. Well, make sure to tune in this month for 2 new installments, and I hope there'll be more. And we'll have
so
you back.
much.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.